Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Nokwakadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles, great mystery of well, to the Akim around the falcons of the earth, preaching the gospel from Ashak Yahushai in truth, sincerity, diligence, and boldness of mind in these last days and times. When people talk about all these so-called platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, they're platforming people, shadow banning and taking down people's comments. In other words, censoring, censoring people's accounts, censoring people's postings. Folks think it's not really the case. They're just guarding against falsehoods. And then, whistleblowers show up. And, it's not a huge surprise, to brothers in the truth. And, but nonetheless, you still have to, look into the situation. So you have, this gentleman here, James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. They're always exposing, all these so-called media agencies and corporations by getting their hand on some crucial information to show the people what's going on behind closed doors, because the elites, man, they always like to do things in secret. That's one power they've always relished, secrecy. And the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is pulling away that covering away from them, and that ability for them to hide their plans. The Lord is revealing it, okay? And you just know that they're up to no good, and then you just parse the information through the scriptures. You filter it through the scriptures, and then you understand what's really going on. So I'm going to read from the book of Psalms chapter 64 verse 8. It says, "So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away." Yeah, so the more these elites get exposed, man, the more people will no longer want to go along with their agenda. Folks that wake up out of their ignorance, whether it's our people, whether it's the heathen, and they realize, what, it's not worth it, just move on. So, that's the time we're coming into, man. That the division is coming. And I'll play the clip real quick.
Yeah, James, the impression I get is if you're accurate, they'll probably deplatform you faster. Because if you've got facts on your side, they want that out of the way of their narrative, it seems. And it's not the first time. You're out there on the front line of this all the time. It's the lab leak. You get deplatformed if you talk about that. Bad reactions to the vaccines. You get deplatformed for that. Talking about the vaccines, how they are effective or not effective, anything. You're deplatformed for that. It's a rigid, liberal, far-left agenda, and if you don't adhere to the talking points in the orthodoxy, it just seems they're going to silence you, me, anybody.
It's not really a far-left or far-right agenda. That's the agenda of the elites that control both sides. They control Democrats, they control Republicans, they control all these so-called liberals and conservatives, so it doesn't really matter. So that's why we have to look well towards our going, so we don't be pointing fingers. It's the Democrats this, it's the Republicans that. The elites don't care. They run the show. You see the type of people they put in all these positions of authority, whether they're Republicans, if there's a Republican administration or Democrat administrations, always the hand of these elites, man. It's just, let me just get straight to the point. This so-called Amalekite, man, this so-called Jewish folks, man, they just like to play people against each other, and they and they lick their chops off.
Right or wrong?
I mean, yes, I think that this is like something out of like DeSantis said at the press conference. I was standing next to him when he signed that law, and he said this is like something out of the fictional 1984, that freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 = 4, that, to report that stones are hard, water is wet, and unsupported objects fall towards the Earth's center. This is just freedom to speak truth and the right to relay to other people what someone has told you in an accurate fashion is what journalists are supposed to do. So this...
Well, who are the ultimate journalists? The prophets of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, all right? And the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 6 says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? It's through the words of the Lord, through the Spirit of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, that Esau has been exposed. And I sees that, it says what? Facebook demotes posts. Okay, so it relegates it. All right, and Google does the same thing too, man. Or when you type in a certain keyword, you're looking for something, they always like to give preferential treatment to their so-called media channels. All right, to control the minds and all that stuff, rather than get straight to whoever has the best information. They want you to always look towards their media channels and get your information from them. Get your what you call it, slanted information. Get your poison from them. That's why you just have to learn to deal with the truth at all times, man. And the scripture tells you that. Okay, let me get that precept real quick, man. So this is the book of 1 John chapter 2 verse 21. I have not written unto you because you know not the truth, but because you know it, and that no lie is of the truth. All right, and that's the reason why we have to stick with the truth, man. Okay, 1 John chapter 2 verse 21. I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and that no lie is of the truth. So there's a clear distinction between what's a lie and what the truth is. And that's the reason why you have to be very, very, be very, very cautious when you listen to these so-called media channels, man. Because when you fall into their hands, man, you just become confused and you become easy picking, man. Okay, so I'll get another posting. It shows you, so here's a guy, I believe he used to work with Facebook before he got suspended. So it says Facebook suspends staffer for blowing the whistle on its totalitarian censorship. So what do you expect, man? It's part of the agenda of the elites, man. They own all these so-called tech companies, man. And they use it as a front to suppress the truth, to suppress the word of the Lord. All right? But hey, the word of the Lord cannot be hidden from those that are required to get it. So that's the reason why, the Most High is all powerful. All right? To hold up, to give us our meat in due season, which is this gospel, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So let me put this real quick.
They think that this is going to drive up vaccine hesitancy among the population, and they see that as something that they have to combat. But honestly, I think that that is not something that... basically, my moral compass says that is not the right thing to do, because basically the users at Facebook are not aware that this is going on. And if you're using Facebook or a social platform and they're censoring the content of your comments unbeknownst to you, I think that's highly immoral.
It is highly immoral. So you are willing to lose your job, and it sounds like you have or will, for coming forward. Is that why you came forward?
Yeah, I believe that consequences that are bestowed onto me by Facebook as a result of this leak and these documents that I've leaked to Project Veritas. I think any of those consequences don't really weigh much when it comes to having to live with myself and ask myself the rest of my life, I saw these documents and I had the opportunity to, show the public this and what's going on behind the scenes, and I didn't do it. And so I wouldn't be able to live with myself after that.
That's why the scripture says, all that see them, no one to be with them, shall flee away. So that's what happens. That's why the Lord, sets up this agenda, man, to have so-called whistleblowers, man. Folks just get tired of, receiving a paycheck, and then they just have to move on to something else, man, because the damage that's being done is just, so much. And, what it's basically saying is that Facebook has an algorithm that they use to censor people on their platform when it concerns this vaccine doctrine, man. And they have what you call the vaccine hesitancy score, that they use to grade whether a person should be demoted in their so-called, postings or banned or all that stuff. It's like a social credit score they use over there in China. Yeah, so that's just the agenda of the elites, man. And that's what they do, to hide the truth from the people. That's why you just have to let the Lord Hamashiach Yahushai, be your guide. And, there's always going to be an opportunity, all right, for the Lord to show you that what goes on with this elite is nothing but evil, all right? But it has to happen, regardless of how you feel, because it's part of prophecy. And then I read Isaiah chapter 45, verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shemukakadash, do all these things. Yeah. So the Lord, allow the elites, man, to do this, and then he's also exposing them. So isn't that the way you call a master plan, a master puppet master? So he sets them up to go along and, to carry out their agenda, and then he exposes them. So, hey, that's what you call the ultimate director, man, So it just shows you there's no one that can resist the will of the Lord, all right?
Consider that heroic? This country used to consider whistleblowing heroic. Have you been treated as a hero?
Whether he's a hero or not, that doesn't really matter. The fact is that, the truth has to be out there. Even during the time of, Bush administration, they say whoever is not with the administration is against the administration. If you're not with us, you're against us. And the media was pushing that stuff hard, man. That's what they were doing, because they're all part of the plan to consolidate power, to have the people live in fear, not to be able to speak their minds. Even when the troops were complaining about those Humvees being susceptible to IEDs on the road, man, they were giving those troops a hard time rather than getting straight to the bottom of the problem to have those MRAPs, So, hey, it just shows you how wicked they are, man, So whether it's a Fox News host or a CNBC or whatever, man, or CNN host, these media agencies, they're not really down for the people, man. So you just have to trust in the Lord, man. At the end of the day, the Spirit of the Lord will reveal all things in due season. So another precept I'd like to read out is the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 22, to show you that the Lord is the one that's in charge. So this is what Daniel said, to the king Nebuchadnezzar concerning his vision. So let me start from verse 20. It says, Daniel answered and said, Blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changed the times and the seasons. He removed kings and set up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. All right. So the Most High is in control, man. So when these whistleblowers come up and they expose the plan of the elites, that's just the Lord playing his hand. All right, letting the elect know that we have to get ready and expect more tyrannical attacks against the lovers of righteousness. All right. So final precept I would like to read will be from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and then verse 14. All right. It says, you know what? I'll go with the verse. Let me start from verse 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High, Yahweh, and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man." So you have to reverence the Most High. You've seen His power in effect. You've seen the chariots. You've seen the signs in the heavens. You see what the Lord does and how He judges people. You see how He exposes His corporations, and the corporations can't do anything because the knowledge that's being put out there is for the elect, to grow and to filter through the scriptures and preach the gospel on the highways and byways. All right. And then it says in verse 14, "For the Most High Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil." So that's the point right there, Akim. So the Lord always has to expose the plans of these elites, man. So there's nothing they can do, all right, to hide themselves from the Lord. They can hide in their bunkers when the judgment comes, because the scripture says in Psalms 149 they're gonna be kept in the last days to be shackled and be put into captivity. And that's what the saints are looking forward to. So that's the point there I came up. Baratuza, the Most High exposes more and more and more of these elite diabolical plans. Shalom.